Are we live? Here we go. All right, we are live. Hello, everybody. It's Dr. J, or Dr. J Real Talk, as you know me on my YouTube channel. So I'm very excited to be talking with you all today as we get the festivities ready to go. Was it? I can't believe this weekend's already Christmas. I mean, it is. I can't believe it's here. I really honestly can't. It was like yesterday. I was planning for Halloween, and now it's Christmas. It's really a blink of an eye. As someone said, it feels like October is Friday, November is Saturday, and Christmas is Sunday. It's like a weekend, and then after that, it's like New Year's, and then all of a sudden it's just like back to normality till like the summer, and then the summer hits, and then all of a sudden the festivities come again. It's like a revolving circle. But anyway, very excited to be with you all here in today's stream and talking about the benefits of embracing the entrepreneurial mindset in everyday life. I think as we head into two reasons why I wanted to talk about this particular topic about the entrepreneur mindset in everyday life it going into 2024, and as we continue every single year, we're starting to see this new economy that is revolving around thinking like an entrepreneur, not necessarily being an entrepreneur, because that's a whole different animal that requires a lot of tenacity, a lot of grit, a lot of careful thought, and to be able to see if there's a market for the product or service you're offering. And that's a totally different conversation. But this conversation is geared towards thinking like an entrepreneur in your workforce. You don't have to be an entrepreneur, but you can think like one and approach life that can be beneficial for your career path, right? So I'll talk about what is that whole entrepreneurial mindset and the key traits of that mindset and how you can apply that into your everyday work life or your professional life, whatever, however you want to see it. But it's definitely important to have that aspect of the entrepreneurial mindset. So, what is the entrepreneurial mindset? There are a lot of definitions, but one of the things I will say is that it's a set of attitudes, skills, and behaviors that are associated with successful entrepreneurs, right? So the characteristics and attitudes is basically being proactive and innovative, approaching problem solving, willing to take risk, self motivation, and a focus on creating value and making an impact. The real key thing to the entrepreneurial mindset is being forward focused and finding a solution to a problem, not necessarily getting stuck in the, well, there's a problem, I don't know what to do, right? It's the person who was willing to think, okay, there's a problem, there is a solution for this. How are we going to get to a solution? Willing to solve those problems, being self motivated, having that grit, being proactive, and willing to take the calculated risk. There's always a risk factor when making decisions, right? There's why some people in companies or organizations, they're sort of the risk taker. They're thinking like an entrepreneur, because an entrepreneur, you have to take risk, right? Calculated risk, not Las Vegas gambling style risk, but you have to take the risk. And so when you think like an entrepreneur, that is what it's right. That's what it's about. It's about the problem solving, the willing to take the risk, the strong sense of self motivation. So the key aspects or the key traits of it is like the first one I'll talk about, and I'll talk about five, is the creativity and innovation part of it, right? Willing to think outside the box, right? There's always this cliche, think outside the box. But it honestly really is. How do I come up with a solution to this problem? And in most organizations, most companies, right? The majority of Americans work for small to medium sized companies or nonprofit organizations. So the resources may not be as abundant as a Microsoft, as an Amazon. So you're going to have to really come up with creative solutions to a problem that exists, or problems that arise. So finding creative solutions to that, right? Now, of course, don't break the law, right? Don't be, if there are rules and regulations in your industry that if you break, it's going to be a very costly factor. Think about that, but think innovatively as to how you can solve that problem. I honestly believe that when problems arise, the more problems that arise, right, and the more solutions you come, it makes you really be innovative as to as to how to solve those problems. It really puts you on your toes, and it really makes your company even more stronger, finding those solutions. Risk taking, the second one, right? Not afraid to take calculated risk. Notice I said calculated risk, right? You have to think about, okay, if I take this risk, what may happen? What might be the outcomes? Of course, there's not a magic 8 ball that's going to say, okay, this is going to be the outcome, but at least take into consideration what may happen, right? What's the extreme thing that can happen and what's the less extreme that can happen. So think about that and taking the risk. Adaptability and resilience. I think the most important thing about in the career in the professional workforce is being adaptable. A lot of times people are not adaptable to the new environment that's going on, right? But being able to adapt to the changing circumstances is definitely going to help you move forward. So seeing the challenges as opportunities is really part of the entrepreneurial mindset. It's about that it's about that growth factor, not being discouraged by the obstacles. So really have that mindset to adapt. The reason why most companies are not successful, the reason why companies shut down is because they're not willing to adapt to the new environment that is around them, right? You have to adapt to the new environment that is surrounding you, right? It's very rare that for example, a cash only business, yeah, it'll survive, it'll thrive, it'll survive, but it's not going to thrive. It's not going to be the most successful company around. You have to have that adaptability. You have to think about, how do I adapt to the situation? Persistence, right? I think persistence is one of the most important things. Being able to perceive and being able to go through adversity, and just have that positive mindset that there is a solution and there is a light at the end of the tunnel. But being persistent and being determined definitely goes a long way in the workforce. And of course, opportunity seeking, right? Seeking the opportunities where they are, seeing where the gaps are, and of course, seizing that opportunity in your job. If you are working for an organization or for a company, if you see a market gap, if there's something, what, this particular market is not being served and we have an opportunity, go look for the opportunity, right? Because you may not make the millions of it beneficially, but it'll definitely help sustain your company, which of course, if you have the right management, they're going to realize, well, we need to keep this person. So make sure that you have those are the main key traits of the entrepreneurial mindset. So of course, always applying them is important. So having that mindset, the opportunity seeking, the persistence, the adaptability, is truly important. So I will say that the one thing about applying those, right? Again, problem solving. When you're with a group of individuals, you have to know how to problem solve. How can we solve this solution, or how can we solve this problem that is going on? Being able to find those potential solutions to the problem. I will say that in that team where you're building to solve the problem, because it usually is a team. It's not always a one person show when solving a problem for a company organization. There's always a team aspect to it to solve those problems. Being creatively and being able to think about how to approach those things is very important. I always tell students, so I teach undergrad students, and I tell them, like, even though you don't like being in groups, you have to think about it. You're going to be in groups for basically the duration of your career. I mean, there's very, very few jobs out there that you're not going to work with teammates on a consistent basis. Like every job you think about, you are working with a team. And so being able to work with a team, learning the adaptability with the team, is a really tremendous, of course, that goes a long way with problem solving. Embracing change, again, being able to not be afraid of change that's going on in the market around you. So embracing that, again, taking the calculated risk. How you do that, step outside your comfort zone. That's one main way. Setting goals and staying motivated, I think that's very important. uh, Successful professionals always make goals and stay motivated by them. I will say one thing about goals is that when you set them, be stubborn on the goal, but be flexible on the plan. I really like that quote. I forgot where I got that from. I got it from somebody. So I apologize to the person that I'm not quoting, but I forget where I get it from. But I know I heard it somewhere. Be stubborn on the goal, but be flexible on the plan. And so having that entrepreneurial mindset, it's like the goal is there. You just have to be maybe flexible with the plan. It may take a couple of changes, it may take a couple of new things. You may have to be a little more patient and wait, but be persistent and stubborn with the goal. And continuous learning. I think one of the things about entrepreneurs, successful entrepreneurs, are lifelong learners, seeking new knowledge and skills. As having an entrepreneurial mindset, working for somebody or working in an organization, you have to have that continuous learning mindset, being a lifelong learner. One of the things I say is that the minute you stop learning is the minute you will probably most likely fail. Uh, you always have to be continuously learning new knowledge and skills. There's things are always changing around us. Being able to adapt to it, adopting that, the new learning that's going around you is very important. I'm always consistently learning. So what if I have a PhD? Like, I'm still a student of the game. I'm still a student of entrepreneurship, the entrepreneurial mindset, continuing education, open educational resources, ed tech. Like, these are topics that I'm passionate about and I really care about and I work on. And so always being able to learn something new and being a lifelong learner is part of me. Um, so again, the entrepreneurial mindset is not limited to entrepreneurs alone. So don't think that because when you hear the entrepreneurial mindset, oh, it's only for entrepreneurs. No, there is, there are. You can be working for an organization, you can work for a company, and still have the entrepreneurial mindset. Thinking about how am I going to be, how am I going to solve this problem? How am I going to uh, get around this? What market are we not reaching out to that there's a potential for? And that's thinking like an entrepreneur and being forward thinking about reaching those goals, about not letting things stop you from reaching those goals, and being persistent and taking those calculated risks. Having that entrepreneurial mindset. And so, with that, I will leave you there for this holidays as you think about the entrepreneurial mindset. You can visit my website at www.jphd18.com. You can also check out my YouTube channel. Just type in Dr. Jerry Real Talk, like and subscribe and watch videos. If you're interested in learning more about the entrepreneurial mindset, there are some videos there. You can also reach out to me. I am a certified practitioner of the entrepreneurial mindset profile. So definitely reach out to me if you want to take the entrepreneurial mindset profile assessment. Definitely measure your characteristics and your traits to see where you're at with the entrepreneurial mindset. So definitely reach out to me. Happy holidays to all, and we'll talk again. Have a good one.